Okay, so good morning, Sarah. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Laura. It's nice to be with you.
Yeah, good to see you. So before we get started on my little Q&A session, I just wanted to say congratulations because you had some great news last week at the Norfolk Business Awards. So Business Person of the Year for you, which was great news.
No, yeah, real surprise. And the team's delighted because we got the Business in Education Award as well. So 2 awards, well, 2 out of 3 for the night, which was, really a great achievement. And then the following day, I was, made business women or STEM Leader of the Year as well. So we actually had a 3rd award or 3 awards in 2 days. That was quite a week.
A good week. Congratulations. That's great. So I'll get started now then. So perhaps we could start off with you telling us a little bit about Developing Experts, what you do and where you started.
Excellent. So we actually, I founded the company in my front lounge in 2015, October. And with my co-founder, Shane Morgan. And it's quite a different product from the original concept. So what we do now is create talent pipelines for industry. And we do that by enabling governments to strategically plan for their economic future. The best way of telling you or explaining what we do is putting it in giving you an example. There are 7 nuclear power stations in the UK. 6 of those are open and operational, and one of those is currently under construction at Hinkley Point C. If you look at the average age of the station managers for those plants that are open, we know that the average age is currently 54 years for a station manager. So, looking at the development pipeline for Hinkley Point C, which is typically 100 years from commissioning to decommissioning, we know that the next station manager for Hinkley Point C is currently age 7 and they're in year 4 at school. So What we do is product place the message of that industry, nuclear, within the curriculum, where it's needed on an age front, but then also where it's needed geographically. So what we're committed to doing is making sure that career choice is no longer left to chance. So each region across a country can really connect to local talent.
So at what point in your journey with your co-founder did you decide that you were ready to pitch for angel investment?
And so it took us 2 years to get to the point where we had a working prototype that instilled enough confidence for schools to actually purchase the product. So in September 2017, we had 11 schools paying for the product. And it was still an awful product. I can't emphasize that enough. But we just kept working at it, and we built the point. We got to the point where industry experts were beginning to be prepared to feature in the platform because we wanted to show the applications of lessons in the world of work. And once we got to that point, we had a few professors and doctors who were almost endorsing it because of their appearance or being featured. 2 months in, so October 2017, I thought, right, let's give it a go. I had a high net worth individual who was a personal friend as well. And I just said, look, this is what I'm trying to do, gave him the full pitch. And he said, yeah, I'll back you, because he actually didn't fully understand how much tax relief he'd get as an angel through SES. And had he understood how much tax relief there was, he said, with the benefit of hindsight, he would have put double in, because he didn't understand how much he'd get back. So then, because I had the confidence of this high net worth individual invest, there was another 2 high net worth individuals that then followed his lead. We ended up at that point getting New Anglia Capital co-match fund the initial 3 angels, which gave us our first raise of 135,000, I think it was, from memory. And then the following month, I pitched to New Anglia Capital, which is the first event. And Patrick Smith, who's now my chairman, stood up and he said, actually, I do have a question. And he asked the question, and Patrick asked these questions. He asked, and it facilitated 2 or 3 other people asking questions as well. And kind of long story short, after the presentation, Patrick and another angel got in contact to say, we'd like to meet with you together. Can you come over? And Patrick was amazing, and the other investor was amazing, and gave me what I asked for, just like that. And it wasn't really, the money was incredibly important, but with the benefit of hindsight, it was actually Patrick's commitment to me and the vision that was more important. And I didn't actually appreciate that as a founder, how instrumental he would be in helping me develop my business acumen and business skills to actually help develop and grow the company to what it is now today. So that was my pitch experience.
Yeah, well, that's interesting you say that about the experience, because one of my questions was going to be around, obviously we know that angels are like a great source of capital, but the advice and support that they can give early stage businesses is invaluable. And I was going to ask you what your experience of that was, but you've kind of already answered my question.
I know. Well, I've one of our other angels, Barry Chevrolet Guild, he's since come on board as an ed as well. So we've got 2 Anglia Capital investors who are now board members. And I wouldn't, I just wouldn't be in the position I am now without their steering advice, to be honest with you. I mean, Barry's commercial experience and negotiation skills from his time at Aspels is just, I'll just say, I've got this meeting today. How should I approach it? So I'll just have a chat, and I probably touch base with them every week. That's how frequent we are talking to each other. And sometimes it's more than that, because they just want to be involved in the nicest sense, because they're just so supportive. But I need that support as well. So I'll phone them up and just say, right, this is the opportunity. How do you recommend I broker it? And had it not been for Barry's input for one of the deals recently, he ended up doubling our unit price for a deal based on his tactics of how to approach it. So when I say really critical, I do mean critical.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I think sometimes people just think of they're a source of capital, but that there's so much more value there, isn't there? So that's good to hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
So looking at sort of giving advice now that you're in the position you're in, what would you say to the current crop of startups who are gearing up for their first pitch?
Wow. I mean, I had loads of people, and I've had loads of people offer me loads of advice along the way. Some of those have paid or charged handsome sums in order to actually try and give me the advice. And I've paid some handsome sums for it as well. But there's nothing more valuable than actually getting free advice from other founders, because they've actually been through it. And they will, I'm certainly at the point where I've had so many people just generously give their time to me that I've got this mindset that if someone asks for help, I'll just give back, because had it not been for the folk along my journey, just being very generous with their time, I wouldn't have actually been in the position I am now to really understand the whole landscape of startups and tech.
Yeah. So what has been your toughest challenge and your proudest moment, do you think, in regards to developing experts?
No, the toughest challenge was having to let staff go at certain points along the journey, because beginning of COVID, that really hit us, because we had a large contract that we were promised and we banked on, and because we couldn't film, it then just meant the deal was postponed. And because it was postponed, it then meant that we had to do what we needed to cut the cloth to make the runway work, cash runway work. That was really hard. We hung on. We managed to scrape through.
Yeah.
And I made the decision in 2019 that I wanted to change the business model. And as part of that decision, I decided that we're never going to make money for the company if we charge or look to schools to monetize the product. And I thought, right, we need to team up with industry. And at that point, right, I thought, if I was going to team up with industry and monetize it through industry, how am I going to really disrupt the market? So I just made the decision to make the product free to schools. Wow. And at that point, this is 10 months before COVID. And it just, a series of things just lined up perfectly. Which meant, because we were planning bizarrely to make the product free in March of when COVID broke out anyway. Wow. The coincidence of it happening was very aligned. And so when COVID happened, it just grew the school base, and immediately we had this, everyone discovered us, and we went from I think 250 schools to now 5,800 schools using the product. And so each week I would post on a heat map where all the schools were on social media. And me doing these heat maps each week just created a viral campaign online, and teachers talked about the product. So that was probably, making the product free was quite instrumental in helping the company gain credibility.
That's fantastic. So looking forward then, as we're talking about things moving on, can you give us a few hints about what your plans for the future are?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted, at the beginning, when you're asked to pitch to Anglia Capital or any pitch event, they always say, well, what's your exit plan? What's your exit plan? And I've always, at the beginning, I just thought, well, what's an exit plan? I didn't even know what an exit plan was when they were asking me. And I thought, okay, once I understood what it was, I thought, right, I'm going to, I'll give it 5 years. I think I can get to the point where the company's where it needs to be in 5 years' time, not really understanding what I was committing to. And 5 years is 2022. I don't think we'll be where we need to be in 2022, but I'm fairly certain we'll be where we need to be in 2023. The advice I'm getting is you wait till you're actually on that hockey stick curve. And we're pretty much on that hockey stick curve point where we then look at how we can get the greatest return for our angels.
Exciting. Well, there's so much coming up for you, isn't there? So much going on, and all the good news lately. It's just really exciting. So we're all really excited to see what happens next for Developing Experts. So thank you, Sarah. It's been really great to have a chat, and thanks for being so candid and sharing all your news and your experience with us. It's been great.
That's an absolute pleasure, Lauren. It's nice to spend the last few moments with you.